10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Drag racing fan, feel the power hour on Competition Plus. We are live. I'm the Monday morning racer, Lee Craft, and interesting show tonight. We've got a little bit of NHRA. We've got some PDRA. There's a lot to talk about. Yes, the background is different. I will allow my co-host to ask me, why is the background different?
Lee, no one cares if your background's different. They're here to see me. But hey, before we start this and before we get the comment, Lee, go ahead and switch it.
Look at that. It is different sides. Boom.
All right, what's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's Slammin Sam here tonight. Power Hour, great show. But yeah, Lee, the 40th final event at in Atlanta, you got behind you a little Strutmaster, a little Hoosiers tire. What's going on there, man?
Well, I'm getting the office set up a little bit more so I can stream in the office, because where I usually do the show is in a showroom that's not heated, and nor is it air conditioned. So it can get a little bit warm in there, and sometimes setting everything up and everything else I've got going on to be able to transition, boom, right into the office and stream with a fine fellow like yourself on the Competition Plus Power Hour makes it easier.
Man, hey, you know, I'm in the room here, but in the back room, before we were just talking, you guys were giving me crap about throwing on, you know, a nice little windbreaker here before the show. But hey, you know, it has to happen. But yeah, a great show I think we're going to have again tonight. We had a great episode last Tuesday. For anyone that didn't tune in for that, you missed a great show. Had a surprise guest come on too. But Lee, I mean, I don't want to say so much to talk about, but there's a couple of things out there that I think we need to discuss. You know, leading up into Denver, things going on. I know Jeff has some good information for us to yak it up as our pit insider, as he found some dirt that was left underneath the hood, we'll say, in a certain class.
Right. Underneath the hood, or, well, as the body pivots, we could say.
But hey, I mean, I was going to say something. I've been doing a little dirt track racing, but I won't spill the beans yet. But it's been a lot of great racing going on here in the North Dakota area. The Dakota Mod Tour is going on. So I've been chasing those guys around night to night, seeing, and you know, how the Team Mad Bro drivers have been doing, and how, you know, the people from California, Oregon, New Mexico. I mean, we've got people from all over up here racing for 6 nights, stock cars and IMCA modified. So that's been great to see. But Lee, where do you want to dive into to start the show tonight?
Well, let's first notify folks that our two guests tonight, Greg Carrillo, top fuel driver in NHRA, actually based in Colorado. So the Mile High Nationals, that's a home event for him. He will be on later. He's our first guest of the night. And then the big chief of the PDRA and competitor in Pro Nitrous, Tommy Franklin. He will be on as well. So we got two good guests tonight. Some voices I think most people don't get to hear from regularly. Always like talking to those type of individuals. Before we do dive into some drag racing, I want to give a shout out real quick, Sam, and just say thank you to Bowman Gray Stadium, the Madhouse, the famed quarter mile, one of NASCAR's most historic tracks there in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I was able to get media credentials and cover the race. Later on, I'll be having a video and write-up come out along with photos about why you, as a motorsports fan, whoever you are, you need to have Bowman Gray Stadium Racing on your list, just like you would have the Daytona 500, the U.S. Nationals, Indianapolis 500, so on and so on. It needs to be on your list. Sam, the world of drag racing, well, we're going to have him on later, and he works for Dunn Racing. How about Jim Dunn Racing, a new partner that has been like a associate partner, stepping up primary for 2 races, Mile High and Sonoma, Les Cure, Complete Mechanical Services. And shout out to John Dunn. The Jim Dunn Racing cars are always fresh, man. They always look good.
Yeah, I mean, even we saw it the last race, we saw that fresh new wrap on there when they had Squinchies, I believe that's the correct way to say it, when they had that sponsorship marketing partner. I think that was more for our pit insider, Jeff Arend, to give him a little crap. I think that was more for him to stay hydrated instead of drinking all of those Coors Lights that he likes to indulge in. But, I mean, it's great to see that people are still going out and reaching these, new marketing partners. We keep saying it. We'll keep preaching it on this show. The more people that we bring in that are outside of the sport, we don't want to keep using the same ones, right? We want to continue to bring new people in. And the way to do that is, show them the ropes, bring them to the racetrack. You guys go to the racetrack and support their product. Let them know that drag racing fans, not just drivers, but drag racing fans, enjoy their stuff. And it goes a long way.
It does go a long way. Colton Jordan, he mentions here and asks, did y'all hear about the new motorsports compound coming in Mississippi? Supposed to be a drag strip, oval track, and a road course. So pretty cool. Well, yes, Colton, I did hear about it. Sam, have you heard about this development?
I've heard inklings about different stuff. There's some stuff coming on in art in my area too. I don't believe it until I actually start seeing plans or start seeing it happen, because there's so many people out there right now that are saying they're going to do stuff, and you never know. And after what happened to me being hollied, I don't believe it until I see it in action.
Well, now this one, there are renderings, there are plans. Apparently the land has been purchased. I've been following this for a little while and connected with the individual over it on LinkedIn. And there's been rumors about this facility for a while, but it seems like the ball has began to roll for it to become an actual facility, and rumored NHRA national event could be coming there to Mississippi, which I think would be a great market. They really haven't seen anything in that area since the days of the Cajun Nationals and Memphis being ran as a NHRA national event. So I think that would be a good thing there, Sam.
No, and I think, like I said, any track that, or any facility that can open, whether it's circle track, oval, a motocross place, whatever, in whichever motorsports area you're doing, I think we still need to support that and have that. I mean, I know we're supposed to sit here and just talk drag racing, but in a motorsports, in all type of racing, we have to continue to support it, because that's the only way we're going to continue to grow. And I think with the rise of drag racing brings up, it helps motocross, it helps circle track racing, it helps monster truck racing. They in a way, they all connect and they all help each other. So to build that next stepping stone and to have a motorsports park or a facility that will do that, or as Colton said, a compound where you can have all this, it's going to excite more people in that area and surrounding areas to build something, to have something, so we can all continue to grow.
There definitely can be a synergy from event to event to event. And look, it would be great to see a facility such as Las Vegas Motor Speedway with the Strip, or Charlotte Motor Speedway with ZMAX. Why not some type of double-header event with NHRA NASCAR, NHRA IndyCar at those places? Why not? Or in NHRA IMSA with the Roval. You never know what could play out. I think there needs to be some opening up to opportunity and some cross-pollination of fan bases, because there's fans, I think, that haven't encountered other types of motorsports that would definitely be a fan, and we could grow motorsports all together.
See, Lee, so now you bring it up, and I was going to tell you this later, but I'll spill the beans to everyone. I've been telling you there's a possibility of me driving a circle track car. And we have this big thing called Motor Magic. It's a car and trade show, circle track, and we used to have import, like, you know, drifts and stuff like that. They took that away because of the parking area, and we have drag racing. Well, I'm going to spill the beans right now, and if anyone from my local area is listening, I will be driving a circle track car and a drag car in the same day. There's a 3-day event, and I'll be doing both. So I advise you, Lee, you'd like to come up here. That might be some good content for all of your followers to get a kick out of Slammin Sam, hopefully making it through corners 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
And look, if you don't make it through 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, you going over the fence would definitely make the highlight reel, and I get thousands of views out of it on the YouTube channel.
But I don't think that one's good for you, though, or good for me, or the car that I'm using. So
definitely not the car you're using. Definitely not the car you're using, for sure. Well, look, we do have someone in the studio right now.
We're going to that?
We're going to bring in not Jeff quite at the moment.
Yeah. So are we going to that segment early tonight?
Well, I guess so. We're going to go early, and we'll see what Bobby has got. We'll see if it's a get off my track moment or if he has something else to tell us. So let's bring on owner, chief honcho of CompetitionPlus.com himself, Bobby Bennett.
And this segment's been brought to you by Smart Sanitizer.
The talent that is on the screen with me. Discovered the talent. So
how's it going, Bobby?
My round track racing experience. So I thought I wanted to race at Cherokee Speedway one night, driving my cousin's car, which was adorned in CircleTrackPlus.com when I got the crazy idea I wanted to go in NASCAR reporting. So the car would not crank as everybody went out on the pace lap. And I'm going crazy trying to get this thing to crank, and I finally get it cranked, and everybody's about halfway through the pace lap. So I figured I was going to pull a cold trickle and go wide open into the as the green flag dropped. I was going to go wide open. Well, I was going through the gearbox, going down through there, and man, I hit the third turn, and the rear end of that car come around on me, and I hit the berm at Cherokee Speedway so hard that I knocked the tires off the rim. My cousin, who was my crew chief, they're calling on the radio for him to come get me. He said, "What happened?" He said he crashed on the pace lap. So that was my brief circle track racing career.
Sorry, Bobby.
Hey,
sorry.
Go wide open or go home. And I went home.
Right. That's right. You went home. You went wide open, then went home. You did it, man. You did it.
He said, "You knocked the tires off the rim." I said, "Well, I paid for the tires, so they were my tires."
There you go. There you go.
Oh, man. I was sitting there listening to you guys talking about the electric drag racing and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, jeez.
What are your thoughts?
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. If I would have seen, instead of a small block, Doug Nash, 50-pound flywheel, 67 Corvette going through the gearbox at Spartanburg Dragway, F-Modified production, if I would have seen one of those electric cars running instead of that, I think I probably would have went into basket weaving. That's it. I think that electric drag racing is about as exciting as having a romantic encounter with a mannequin.
Well, Bobby, you know as well as I do.
Well, that's it. I mean, I'm sorry. How can you have sensory overload on a slot car? I'm sorry, you can't. it will set this sport back so far. You can say that it's the future of the generation and all that, but you know what? Sometimes taking stuff to the next level is the next level down. And that, I mean, it's cool and everything like that, but, you know, get off my drag strip. Okay? I'm sorry. Get off my drag strip. Get off my drag strip. Give me my 50-pound flywheel, stick shift, burning up the dinosaur fuel car. That's what I want to see. Give me the stuff that makes my eyes water, not that shocks the poop out of me. I want real race cars. And this is a novelty. I'm sorry. But it's all fine and good on the gas mileage because you got an electric car till you get out in the middle of BFE and can't find a place to charge up. So I'm sorry. I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying into it. I think the NHRA's electric drag racing will go over as well as their Sport Compact series. And we know how that one turned out.
That did not turn out well, no.
I mean, it's like you're going to create a racing series to cater to people that don't give a crap about our series or our drag racing. Furthermore, where's all this coming from? I would say, venture to say it's coming from California, a state who absolutely hates our way of life. With burning fossil fuels and everything. And you want me to sell out to what they want? Kiss my big hairy. I ain't buying it. I am not buying it. And neither should you. When they come out to run, thanks, guys, but I'm going to poop. I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to get a hot dog. That does not entertain me whatsoever. If I wanted to do that, I'd go watch golf cart racing. Hey, these executives can say what they want because they've got to be paid to say the right things, but I don't. I'm going to tell you as I see it. And as I see it, I'll just go to, what is it, Dillard's and get my mannequin and go off on a date because that's the same amount of excitement I would have watching electric drag racing. What, did you expect anything different?
I love it.
Are you
it.
done?
No, I'm not done. I got more. You throw the softball up. I'll knock it out of the park. Been a long time since I launched one out. But I got news for you. These fields keep getting smaller and smaller. We'll probably have some 8-car NHRA fields. I mean, it's coming. What, Denver doesn't have full fields, does it? Why would they? No. If you're not going to come out and support it, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get 8-car fields.
That's right. That's right.
You can cry and whine about it ain't like it used to be. Well, you know what? Times change. Times change. The whole world has changed. We don't race quarter mile anymore. We race to 1,000 feet for nitro cars. It is what it is. Just like, the things of the 70s aren't here anymore, I mean, for goodness sakes, we don't even have good music anymore, hardly. I mean, if you want to call that stuff my grandkid listens to as music, that's just proof that I could be a musician all day long. I mean, it's like she listens to this one kid. This one guy, I think, whoever it is. Who's that guy? She listens to Lil Peep. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's like I would rather listen to the flock of seagulls than listen to this crap. I mean, I don't know why I went off on a tangent there, but the fact of the matter is we live in a different day and age. And that's what it is. Now, you can either say, and to see the people say that drag racing circle the drain is about to go out. Drag racing is actually on good footing. The NHRA is doing a good job. Whether you want to admit it or not, the sport is surviving, and it's doing well. doing a lot better than it should be. So, I don't know.
I would agree overall it's doing a lot better than it should be,
Yeah.
especially after what happened last year.
Oh, yeah. After all that crap. And guys, I will be in Sonoma.
Very cool. Very cool.
I will be in Sonoma. It will be my first trip to California since I got sick.
There you go. There you go.
And
Well,
I promise you one thing. I have a better chance of being a Chippendales dancer than I do of getting an electric car. I'll promise you that.
Well, are you sure California's going to let you in after those comments, though?
If they don't, I'll turn my happy ass back to South Carolina.
Just say your name's Jeff Arend, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. Those guys gave me a out there one time. They gave me an electric car, and then wanted to charge me for the fuel purchase option.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
You make that stuff up, folks.
That's
So
right.
you don't think I sit back here. There's times that I'm throwing stuff at the screen when y'all were talking, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Earth. Have we met?" I mean, some of that stuff y'all come up with, guys, I love you, but somebody fell and hit their head sometimes. And I would give you an example, but there's so many examples I can't find them all.
Well,
But
Bob, if we fall and hit our heads, hey, talk to us and help pick us up from now and then.
You must think I'm an afternoon special kind of guy.
Oh, you're special, certainly.
Oh, I forgot y'all are not old enough to know what afternoon specials are.
No.
That's not the meal down at the diner. There used to be these things called after school specials where they were feel good stories and shows and all that stuff. I think you see them on the Hallmark Channel or something now. You guys ever heard of that?
Don't watch that.
Yeah, don't watch that. No. Hey, speaking of feel good, how about we bring on someone that's been waiting to come on, Jeff Arend, and he can give us the inside perspective.
He's been in the feel good sauce. I know it.
Bobby, I don't think I've had even a quarter of what you've had tonight from watching this show for the last 5 minutes.
Dude, I've been making girls cry tonight, coaching today, softball. So I've been a big old pee-pee head all day today. I figured I'd come on in here and be a big old pee-pee head too.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
What do you think about electric drag racing? Is that like having a romantic encounter with a mannequin?
So a couple of things. So electric drag racing, I mean, I would try to watch a Formula E show and I just couldn't do it. It's not the same, obviously, and we're obviously from a different upbringing than the kids are right now. Our electric vehicle is going to get more and more popular and probably overtake internal combustion stuff. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at that Tesla Plaid. I mean, thing runs like low nines. It's 130 grand, but it's still fast. You know what I mean? So you want the acceleration and stuff, but I totally agree. Like, if it was all electric drag racing, I don't think anybody's going to watch that stuff, or not a whole bunch of it. Would it be fun to drive one? Yeah, I think it would be fun to take a Plaid out for a little ride and see what it's like. Definitely not as fast as a funny car or something, but I think they have their place. And I think, one day, even like dinosaurs like me and you, it's going to have its place, but maybe we're not going to be happy about it. So that's all I can say about electric stuff for now. Like, am I against it? Not really. I mean, if more stuff comes out, it seems to make a little bit of sense in certain demographics or areas, and for certain people that have a certain lifestyle. But yeah, I'm okay with electric stuff for now. But drag racing wise, if nitro cars go away, there's going to be an issue. No doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Jeff? I guess it'll be the electric age that kills off us dinosaurs this time.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. We were talking about... Go ahead.
One of the things that I also wanted to bring on is that I'm hard at work working on a new Legends, the series episode. I think we're on like season number 6. And so I've been devoting quite a bit. Each one of the Legends episode, takes me about 60 hours of editing time to get it down to about a 38-minute, 40-minute show. And I'm working on the legendary the king of speed, Kenny Bernstein. Can you imagine if Kenny Bernstein ran 300 miles an hour in an electric car? How exciting that would have been.
He would have been like Elon Musk right now. He would have been like rich and never racing again, I think.
Yeah. So I'm working on that when I'm working on Billy Meyer. And we also have another storytellers coming along with Kenny Bernstein telling about the day he donated the roof of his Plymouth Arrow funny car to the not Billy Meyer, but the Raymond Beadle Mopar when it went out a hardtop and came back a convertible at Pomona that year. You remember that?
Yeah, it was a little while back, but yeah, back in the day, definitely a lot more camaraderie between the big teams. Once you lost, your crew guys were going over to whoever else was winning to help them out no matter what. And that's the cool part about drag racing.
You don't think Billy Meyer was pissed off when they were when they had every Texas team over there helping to try to beat him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
might have been, but it's all fair and love and war in drag racing, so
there wasn't no love in that war. But
probably not.
Anyway, hey, do you think Raymond Beadle would have blown the roof off of that Mopar funny car of his with a doggone electric car?
Yeah, probably not. It might have started on fire from the lithium battery. You never know.
Yeah. So tell me, who's a genius that's come up with a plan when one of these son of a guns catch on fire, and the poor soul that's stuck in that thing? Like, sorry about that, Holmes. You on your own there. We'll just have to throw some sand on you. Of course, he didn't get burned to death or electrocuted. He suffocated from all the sand they had to dump on him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and a lot of the fuel cars now, they used to run a normal battery to run like the Leahy Command Center or some of the electronic management systems around the cars. But now most of the teams have gone over to a lithium-style battery. And that kind of worries me a little bit because you hear about them just starting on fire here and there, and that could burn down someone's shop. So, but they're definitely using them now. They're more efficient. They hold their charge longer. You can charge the thing up and like basically last for the whole race. So it hasn't happened yet. And I hope it doesn't happen. But we've seen in the past, no matter what the lithium battery is or lipo battery is, it can definitely happen. Whether you have an RC car or airplanes or whatever, it's something that they haven't quite perfected yet, and I hope they do one day.
I believe Mike Googer used to make a career out of burning down those RC cars with the lithium batteries, or maybe that was just running them into the wall. I don't know.
Well, I mean, even just this past summer, we saw three cars get burned down and a couple of trailers, from those lithium batteries. And this is when people are traveling down the road. I know, Bobby, how you're feeling, Soren, but a couple of the no prep, the street outlaw guys lost trailers and lost cars to this exact thing with these lithium batteries. So, a lot of people are starting to look at them and say, okay, and there's been a lot of people saying, I'm not buying a certain brand because that's been the known brand to randomly start shop fires. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions. I know Lee and I go back and forth on it, but I mean, there's just a lot of questions. And I think the biggest question that was brought up was by Fletcher Cox. Where are we going to charge these things if we bring 12, if there's 8 cars? What facility has the charging power to do this? And I mean, just the conversation continues to grow and thrive. And I mean, everyone's got their opinions on it. So,
hey, we'll start
I don't know.
We'll start another internet magazine covering electric drag racing. We'll call it Competition Minus.
Well,
because we already have the competition positive, so we'll have the competition negative.
Yeah, I mean, I got in the RC stuff for a little while, and if you were smart, there was this kind of bag thing that you bought. You put the battery in while you charged it, and just the wires hung out. If it did start on fire, the bag kind of like suffocated the battery and kept any air from getting in there, which supposedly kept it from starting on fire. Which, I mean, I think that's what I would do if I had a fuel funny car, one of those things in there, or I would definitely have them in some kind of a bag when I was traveling. And there's been, airplane disasters because of those batteries. There's been all kinds of stuff that's happened, the Teslas or whatever. It's just kind of an unknown right now. And, even the hoverboards. I mean, my daughter had a hoverboard, which, of course, threw me off in like under 1 second. But there were stories of those things starting on fire. So I think the thing we found about them is a lot of the batteries were made in, as Donald Trump would say, China, and they started on fire. So maybe you got to buy a good battery and be over it.
Yeah, the funny thing is we're trying to do away with fossil fuels, and we're going to run an electric car. What do you think we make the tires out of?
Yep.
Are we going to run them on wooden wheels? No, we can't, because we can't tear trees down. Can't knock trees down. We're running on styrofoam. That's not eco-friendly either.
Yeah, I think it's a whole other show we're talking about. No doubt about that.
Sometimes you can actually outsmart yourself, and I think they've outsmarted themselves. But, guys, I'm going to let you get back to a very sane and very good online television show. And I'm just going to sit over here in the corner and be the cranky old bastard that just comes on here and tells y'all what y'all afraid to say.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, sounds like another smart sanitizer segment of Mr. Bobby Bennett, Get Off My Track. So, Bobby, we appreciate you coming on, stirring up the pot, and thank you for another great episode of Get Off My Track, brought to you by the one and only Bobby Bennett.
Peace out, Bobby. All right. So let's get back to normal stuff here. So that was kind of fun though. But so we got Denver coming up. Unfortunately, not full fields as you guys were talking about. We got 13 top fuels and 14 funny cars. Quite a few independents in there, which is kind of cool. But let's talk about some reasons why Denver is not the best place to go to as an independent. Corrected error there, like density, altitude. At most tracks, you're between, anywhere between, let's say, 1,000 and 3,000 feet for a normal kind of a racetrack you're going to see for the majority of the year. Some better, some worse. You go to Denver, density altitude's like 10,000 feet. So the things you have to do to make a fuel car run there, compression. I've seen teams that I drove for before change their head gasket by 1 or 2 thousandths of an inch thickness. You go to Denver, you're running 40 or 50 thousandths more compression than you would normally run at any other track. Timing, you're jacking that thing up another 5 degrees of timing. The blower probably averages around 38.5 to 40 for most tracks during the year, sometimes less, not many times more. You go to Denver, you're getting up around 50% on the supercharger. Nitro percentage, most teams are 88 to 89. You're going to be at 90. So you basically just turn all the knobs to max and go run this thing and try and make it think it's in better air. But it's very, very hard on parts. Even the guys that run good, like if you run a good run like a 390 in closer to sea level air, there's a chance that you don't really hurt many parts if your tune-up's on. You try and run something like a 4 flat in Denver, you're going to hurt some parts no matter how good your tune-up is. So it's not a very forgiving place to go to. I love Denver. I love Bandimere. I love the Bandimers that run it. I mean, it's a great track to go to. If you've never been, it's definitely one of the top 2 or 3 that I like to go to, but very, very hard on parts. And I think that reflects in the amount of cars that come out there.
All right. So not just Denver, you found out some good, juicy information. You want to kind of let everyone know what's in the hidden, I guess, media world of NHRA right now?
Yeah, I mean, I just heard this today and had to kind of look it up, and there it was in the hidden away in the NHRA Racer website. But I guess John Force got himself a $10,000 fine for modifying a part. So when you buy parts, from manufacturers, whether it be a cylinder head or a supercharger or an injector, you're supposed to leave those parts alone and you can't do anything to them. And I read today that John Force modified an injector and over a stock part and got fined $10,000 for it. And I haven't seen that really anywhere else other than kind of hidden in this NHRA Racer website. What you can do to injector, like, it's really not a whole bunch. On a funny car injector, they cut the injector back where the throttle blades themselves, or as soon as you open it up like a little tiny bit, there's air coming in. So they cut them back on the bottom to help the drivers get better reaction times. What you could do to the inside of it, I don't know. I got some pro mod friends, and some of them put like a vein in the middle of it to help direct the airflow into the supercharger. I'm not sure what he did, but whatever he did, he got fined for, and $10,000 is a pretty healthy fine, no matter who you are. And he was definitely doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. What it is, I'm not 100% sure.
On that, Jeff, and we've got to get to Greg here soon, so if you could elaborate very quickly. Oftentimes we hear this sort of thing in the world of NASCAR. They're always pushing the gray area, and NASCAR will find things they don't like, don't appreciate, and they'll pop a fine. Then oftentimes teams will appeal the decision. Does NHRA have a appeal process at all?
Yes, I mean, as far as I know, they do have an appeal process. From reading this, it was kind of cut and dry to me. I mean, if you buy a part, like if you buy an Aerodyne injector or whoever's injectors he uses, they come out of the box. You're supposed to take them out of the box and put them on the car. If you do some kind of a modification to it, then that is not legal. And I'm certainly not saying he was cheating or anything. I'm just telling you what I read off the NHRA website. And there was definitely something that he did to it that did not fall into the rules that NHRA has. Whether it makes your performance better or not, who knows? I couldn't see you modifying something to not make your performance better. But, if I was guessing, maybe some kind of a fin or a vein inside it. There's not really a whole bunch extra you can do to them, maybe except for height or something. I don't know why you would do that. But that's just my take on it. But hopefully we'll find out one day.
All right. Well, I know we do have Greg in studio, and he's coming in and out. We're just waiting for him to step back on camera. So real quickly, 426 Hemi does ask, how often are the NHRA fuel cars really teched? So what is the tech? I've seen an official come around and look, and then that seems to be the extent of the process that I have seen. But what's actually happening?
So for a long time, the NHRA tech guy would come by your pit. They were more or less just looking to make sure that all the safety equipment, like the blower bag and the bell housing and everything, was up to the right date and had been certified for use. As far as them delving into, hey, let's look at your cylinder heads or your superchargers, I've never really seen that all that much. Though I would guess that if someone was winning a lot of races, they might take a better look at it. It's kind of more the honor system the last few years, where you don't really get teched at every race because they're hoping that you don't change things. And obviously when you look at things like dates or like body tech or something like that, you're generally not going to run a different body or something different than you've run all year. So they assume that everything's good. And if you do have a new body or something, then they want you to run it through their little chamber again to check to make sure it's okay.
All right. Well, Jeff, look, thank you for being on. We need to move on, get Greg on to chat with him about the upcoming event at Mile High. Thanks for the insider information, man.
No problem. Have a great show, guys. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
Thank
folks.
you.
Next up, Greg Carrillo right here on the Competition Plus Power Hour, right after this break.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
Greg, man, how's it going tonight? Uh-oh. Greg, if you can hear us, we cannot hear you. Uh-oh.
Still cannot hear you.
Yeah, we got technical difficulties here again.
Well, Lee, since it usually happens and it's not you this time, we can see him. Can't hear him. What does that mean?
We'll take a drink. There we go. Greg, if you can hear us, I'm not sure if he can even hear us right now. It doesn't seem like we cannot hear you. Let me type it in. So, folks, while we're trying to figure out the technical difficulties, type in some questions for Greg, and we'll see what happens here in a few moments.
We cannot hear him lead. Let's just drop him out and see to answer a few questions that are out there and that are coming in. The NHRA rulebook is online. So SWFL Motorsports fan, yes, the rulebook is online for you. So you can go in there and read it all. And like I said, that's the one thing that's good about having Jeff on, is dropping those kind of little, informational things, finding out that stuff. You and I, we both didn't see it. That was one thing that came up, and he said, "Did you guys hear?" No, we didn't. Lee, since we have a little bit of time, let's talk about some of the other things that are going on, because we didn't know that Mr. Bobby Bennett was going to go on a tangent on the early part of the show. But Lizzie Musey,
what is what you've got to expect with cranky old people.
Wow, no comment. So the return of the Legend Series, Bobby brought that up. Lizzie Musey in the new 69 debut. What do you think about that?
Man, honestly, I find it. Look, I know you've got to bring in a new car and get prepared to race, and cars kind of have a shelf life, and you need to stay up on technology to be competitive. But I really liked the later model Camaro that she was running. I really wish they just would have kept that theme with a new car. I have nothing against the 69 Camaro, but that later model Camaro was a good-looking car, I thought. I wish they would have stuck with that platform, but it be a new car, me personally. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, like you said, switch it up, change things a little bit. So I think that was cool. Just to breeze through a couple of more. Antron Brown's son is visiting one of our favorite friends, Frank Hawley. He's down there. He's getting, as we call it on this show, Hawley. So like we said, we will see more. I think we're going to see more of the AB family, the family tradition, and the kids getting involved in the sport. So that's good to see his son growing in the sport. And I wouldn't say, last but not least, the biggest thing that I think has been kind of talked about in drag racing right now is Mr. Alex Laughlin getting, behind a Top Fuel. Lee, what are your thoughts on that? What are, what from what you've seen from test passes and different things like that, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first, let me notify everybody. We do got Greg in the studio back again. We'll try him in a few moments. Very quickly on Alex, though, I like this. Alex really is one of the most diverse race car drivers, period. We're talking about tractor pulling, karts, A-Fuel, Pro Stock, Pro Mod. He'll have an interesting opportunity because if I understand, this is not just a one-race deal. He's got a few other sponsor obligations that he's going to continue on with the car. He may very well be the first individual. He could be the first individual to win in Pro Stock and win in Top Fuel. I don't believe anyone's ever done that. I don't mean even the same race. I mean just period. Now, Kenny Koretsky did qualify Top Fuel and Pro Stock in a same race. He did do that. I believe it was Phoenix in the early 90s. But as far as a winner, we've had winners in both nitro categories, and we've had winners in Pro Stock and Pro Mod, but no one's ever kind of made that transition. So Alex has got another shot for history.
Also, I think, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's going to be the first one to be in 3 different classes in one season.
Would not shock me that would be the case.
Yeah, so,
now, there may be somebody in the Sportsman ranks that has done that similar. That's a little harder to find and dig, but concerning professional categories, yes.
For sure. So Yeah, I mean, a lot to talk about there, but we do have guests. Let's try to bring Greg back on. And
Greg, can you hear us?
I got you. You got me?
Oh, we got you
We
now,
got
too.
you.
There we go. There we go. Well, man, look, good to have you on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Last time we saw you, you were at Las Vegas, and you had a good outing. Talk to me about being back in the car and Aaron Brooks' magic on the top fueler there in Las Vegas.
Well, I'll tell you, it was really nice for my team. You know, they do such a great job with the car, and we rolled it off the trailer, went 382.7, went 321 miles an hour, and being out of the car for 2 years. So I think it talks a lot about Aaron, talks about Glenn Mikers, and, you know, I got Jimmy Kelso, I got Chris Oden, I got Timmy Hishinuma, I got, you know, Dennis Padilla, my cousin on the bottom end, and we got Dave Sell and Cole Nance on the cylinder heads. I want to mention those guys because they do just fabulous job. We got my dad, my son on the fuel mix. So things are looking real good for us, and I expect to do well here. Last time I checked in Top Fuel, they don't care who you are. They're coming to kick your butt. So we got to get tough and get after them.
And, you know, you made the decision back in 2007 to switch and to go nitro racing. What, you know, and you had to sit out because of everything that was going on economy wise. And what was that like, making that decision and making those choices to say, you know what, this is really what we want to do?
I'll tell you, we had a quite accomplished sportsman career. We had Super Gas, Super Comp. We done well everywhere. We were making the transition to Top Fuel, and then all of a sudden the economy just took a dive on us. So then before I even went to want to race, I just parked it, and then I kind of waited it out. And as soon as I heard, you know, cylinder heads were going wild, everybody was making heads, people were doing all kinds of different things. So I just stopped. I just said, we're not doing anything till things settled down. So when the NHRA came in and put a moratorium on cylinder head research and building them, we were able to sell our stuff that we had and then go ahead and move on to actually we used AJ cylinder heads, Alan Johnson cylinder head, stage setting. It's like we're just trying to get this thing off the ground, and I think we're going to do it. We're going to do well every time we come out. We do better, and then that's what I tell the guys. We leave the shop, we want to come back to the shop, change the number on the wall, and every time we've done so,
So, Greg, you're up there in Colorado. You're not too far from the Mile High National event for the NHRA, about 90 minutes from what I read in the CompetitionPlus.com article. So, what's unique, and what are also the challenges of having a team based out of Colorado, other than the traditional Southern California and Brownsburg, Indiana area? So what makes your team and where it's based different in the operation? Did that go through? I don't know. Greg, do we still got you? I think we might have lost Greg, Sam.
A lot of the teams can get parts there and all that kind of thing. What we do out here is we just stay away from all that drama.
All right, Greg. Sam, go ahead and take the next question and see if we can get it to Greg with a little bit of delay we've got.
I'll actually just bring in a comment here from Colton. He says, Greg, do you think living in Colorado or being familiar with the altitude?
Maybe
we had you there for a second. What was that?
We can still hear you, Greg. So if you can hear us, we'll give it a few moments. Just let us know.
What I think is happening, Lee, is everyone's in Colorado right now for the All-Star baseball game. They're taking up all the bandwidth. So that might be the problem. That might be the problem. Yep.
Can you?
Well, it keeps fading in and out.
Right. Folks, sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll ask it again. Greg, Colton asks, do you think living in Colorado and being familiar with the altitude from your Sportsman days gives you an advantage in Top Fuel?
I don't think so, Lee. Maybe we should go to the good old phone.
Maybe we should.
Well, Lee, you yak it up for a second. I'll get the phone set up, and we will
there you go.
Continue to go on with this episode.
We will try. And now for technical difficulties with Lee. Folks, we try to do sound checks and try to have everything work out. We've even had sound checks where an individual before the show, it sounds fine. Go live, things change, and you have technical difficulties. So everyone has different speeds of internet, and even though the program we're using, StreamYard, is a great program, sometimes these things do happen. Well, so looking towards Denver this weekend, we all know Denver is extremely hard on parts. Pro Mod field might be 12, 11 cars. It's looking like it's going to be 8 cars. As Scott mentions here, hard to believe Elite is sitting out Denver in Pro Mod. That's true. They're sitting out and they're trying to regroup, get the engine program better, come back and be stronger. And that's also one reason why Alex is getting this shot to go Top Fuel Racing. But it's going to be an event in which I think there's going to be some twists and turns coming out of it. And it would not surprise me that we see some different players involved. Sam, how's it working over there?
As of right now, I am still waiting for a phone call, which seems like it's coming in right now. So give us 1 second here.
We'll see what we got.
All right. Greg, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm right here.
Lee, can you hear Greg?
I can hear Greg.
All right. Sorry, Greg, we did not have the video going, but we will still have you audio, and we can continue this.
There you go.
If there's a will, there's a way, right, Lee?
That's right.
So the last question, Greg, that was asked was by one of our fellow announcers, Colton Jordan. He goes, do you think living in Colorado and being familiar with the altitude gave you an advantage during your Sportsman days?
I would definitely say that, because I won a lot of races up here, and a lot of guys didn't know what to do around the starting line. So that's what we kind of specialized in. And we got the cars to lead hard up here. And, Arend has a grip on this car in the first 60 feet. So I think we're going to do well.
Go ahead, Sam.
So with that, I mean, everyone talks about how hard it is being in Colorado, and just a different atmosphere that it throws at you. We saw it. Lee and I saw it a couple of years ago. I don't know, maybe you were there, Lee, but with the World Series of Pro Mod, we saw it there up on the mountain, and all the different stuff that track brings. What do you think, looking from the inside out, is the biggest disadvantage to some people that have never been there, and then the advantage to people that may have one or two test passes there?
Well, here's what I think, back, if people remember back in the day when Alan Johnson went there, Alan and Blaine, they used to be racing in Division 7 with us. And when they started racing in Top Fuel with their father, let me tell you, he went up there and he put 4 tenths on the field. He wasn't scared to run up there. And the way I see it is you don't see Torrance having a problem. He went 73 up there. It's like he didn't even know he went a mile high. You know what I mean? So like Aaron told me today, it's the difference between the men and the boys.
It definitely does that on the mountain. Well, look, we got Tommy Franklin coming on later, and we've had the issues that we have had tonight, and thank you for working through all of it with us and being online now via the phone. I want to make sure we give time for you to plug your sponsors. Apparently, you've got a local Mexican restaurant chain on the car, and like Gates Belts and a few others. So share with us who is supporting the effort in your motorsports endeavors.
Okay, I think I heard you me to share some of my sponsors for Denver. And we got Santiago's Mexican restaurants. They have 26 of them here in town. They also sell chili green chili at the Walmart, King Soopers, stores like that. And it was started by a woman named Carmen Morales. And she's a pretty remarkable woman. She started from scratch, didn't have anything. And, I wouldn't say she was sleeping in her car by no means, but she's just a tough lady. And it's really cool to be, racing for a woman, business. So it's really something cool. And then we also got FMP, Factory Motor Parts. Them guys sell a lot of parts nationwide, and they're quick and good, and they sell a lot of parts to, auto repair shops and people like that. So we're really looking forward to putting on a good show for them. And obviously this is our home track, and we like to do something good for the Bannermares because they put on a great show. And from what I am understanding, I don't know, but I hear the show is sold out.
Well, Greg, I haven't heard if it's sold out or not. And if it is, wow, that is great, and can certainly understand it being sold out. Let's go back to last year. What were some challenges in the area with COVID? Because the track, it made some news about the fight concerning COVID and being open. And I got to talk with Tammy Bandemir at Norwalk about that experience. So what was it like in Colorado for yourself personally with everything that was going on in the pandemic last year?
Yeah, I'm having a little bit difficulty hearing you, but I think you were talking about COVID and kind of the tracks. Is that what? Yeah. So up here at Bandemir, they were doing everything to try to get open, and there's all sides of that coin. I don't really get too far into it because of the political nature of it, but let me tell you, the Bannermers were working really hard to get that place opened up. The drag racers were looking for places to go. And let me tell you, Bannermers puts on a hell of a Sportsman show. You know, they're racing every Wednesday, every Friday. You know, I mean, if the snow ain't flying, these guys are racing out here. So it's really good to see Bannermers back at it. And for us personally, this is our favorite race, you know, so we want to come here and we want to kick some butt. And we feel for all those people that were affected by COVID. That's for sure, because I personally had lost 5 friends with COVID. So, you know, I know it's a formidable foe. So let's hope we can get this behind us and get back to racing and get our fans back out there.
Yeah, and, you know, like you said, you know, the Bandermeres, there's actually a post on Facebook a couple of minutes before we got on. There was a race going on. So they've always got something. And just like Norwalk, you know, the Bader Way, the Bandermeres not only make their racing atmosphere very fortunate for everyone that comes, but they make you feel like family and that you're a part of what is going on and what the mission and the purpose is. And that's to put on a great event for not just your drivers and your crew, but even the fans. But I kind of want to go back a little bit. Lee and I like to eat. So if we come down to Denver and we were to go to this restaurant that, you know, for your sponsor, what would you recommend on the menu that is a must-have?
Well, let me tell you, there's so many good things to that, but my guys laugh right now because they eat the breakfast burritos every morning. And the key thing to eating at Santiago's is you can get mild, half and half, or hot. And let me tell you, you better be a pretty tough hombre if you're going to be getting the hot. You know what I mean? So they'll be eating that breakfast burrito. They'll be having them good smothered burritos at lunchtime. You know, they got great tacos. They got everything. And, you know, we're going to have them at our hospitality in the pit area. So also for Friday night, I got a little special going. If you go to Auntie Santiago's restaurant in the Denver metro area, you can get $8. I think it's $8, right, Jimmy? It's $8 off of pass to come to watch us qualify at night. So make sure you stop there, get your burrito on your way to the track, get a coupon, and get $8 off, and come and support NHRA. And, you know, not only me, but all the drivers out there.
So in other words, what he's saying is, get the burrito, come to the track, you save a little bit of money, but you get good food. Don't eat it while you're driving to the track. Either stay there and eat, because you don't need to get any of that hot sauce in your eyes while you're driving down the road to the racetrack. But I honestly think you should just bring her out to, like you said, you're going to have her in the hospitality. You might as well just bring her out and, you know, just have good food there. I'm like, Lee, this might just be the reason why I go to Denver, is to see if I can stomach the hot sauce.
I definitely
let me tell you, you know, we all know Tony Pedregon, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, we can't hardly keep that guy in the tower doing the show. He's always in my hospitality area eating that good Mexican food. So, you know, if Tony likes it, he's probably a good judge of what good Mexican food really is.
I bet he would be. And Sam, honestly, man, if you can't handle your meat, I don't know how you're going to handle a hot burrito.
Man, just like on my podcast, you know, LS Teca Mexican Food here. It's funny, we had them do the 18 taco challenge, and one of the drivers, before he got into his stock car, he devoured 18 tacos. Don't know how he felt later that day, but before the race.
That's a weight disadvantage right there. That's too much on the left side.
No,
let me tell you, Aaron Brooks wouldn't let you eat 18 tacos. I can guarantee you that.
We just took some lead out of the right side, so we were good. So
yeah, there you go. So are you guys coming out to Denver, or what are you going to do?
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yep, Denver for me clashes with the PDRA event at Virginia Motorsports Park, and we'll have Tommy Franklin on in just a few moments to chat with him. But no, I will not be in Denver, sadly. Definitely want to get out to that event soon, but it overlaps with PDRA. Greg, speaking of events, I understand that Denver's not the last event for your team this year. You do intend to catch one other event, possibly even the U.S. Nationals. So what is on the horizon for your team?
Well, let me tell you, I'm a Denver is my Indy, okay? So, and I know everybody talks about Indy, right? But you know what? I told my team, let's go out there and see if we can play with the big boys and see what we can do. You know what I mean? So we decided we're going to go ahead and go to, we went to the 4-wide, and the reason we went there was to test, because when you have an independent team, that money comes in handy, that qualifying money. So we might as well, instead of renting a track, we might as well go there, qualify, get a check, and be on a legitimate surface. So that's why we went to Vegas. Denver, we fully intended to start here. Then we decided we want to go to Indy to just see where we are. You know what I mean? We want to go up against the best in the best place at the biggest race. So that's what we're going to do. And also, we're going to be figuring out what we're going to do in the end of the year. We'd like to cause a little trouble in the countdown for people, get in the mix and mix it up with them.
That sounds good. I like the countdown drama ideal. Make those regular racers sweat a little bit by a high-performing independent coming out. I like that idea.
Well, let me tell you, Steve Torrance won't be sweating. I can guarantee you that. He's the cooler customers that come. But hopefully we can make a few of the other ones shake,
No, exactly, and that's what it takes. And you touched on something there that I think is a great way, to kind of end this up. An independent team. How, the struggles, the ups and downs of being an independent team. The back in the back of the shop talks and having to make these decisions.
Let me tell you what you do. Let me tell you what you do as an independent team. Okay, there's many ways to go about this. Okay, I'm not going to mention any names of people who do it differently, but some people just like to go to the racetrack. You know what I mean? Some of them like to go up and down the racetrack. But I think my way is a little different. I've won races. I've won many races. So, you can't, for me, I can't sit in a car, look over the handlebars and say, hey, I can't win today. I don't have a car that can win. So it just doesn't fit me. You know what I mean? I've won races. So once you get a taste of that, you want to do that. So for me, I want to go out with the best components. I want to go out with the best people. And I want to bring enough to go, it was 8 rounds before, but now it's 7. But I'm going to come there with 7 rounds of the best components that we have. And like they all say, we want to play hardball, so that's what we're going to do, and luckily we've got some people helping us here and there, like Gates belts, for example, so we can be able to throw a belt at it, every time. So we don't have that type of thing holding us back. But I'm going to guarantee you that when you go out there, if you go set a decent ET, qualify hard. We were qualified, I think, 6th on Friday night at Vegas. I mean, you're making statements out there. I'm not really here to go up and down a racetrack. I've done that for 20 years. I want to compete. I want to compete at the highest level, and I want to compete against the very best guys. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to change that. And I'm not going to go to 10 races just to go up and down a racetrack. I'd rather go to 1 and try to win.
That is a good strategy. Get out there and have the best opportunity to win and not just trying to go to all of them. Well, Sam, look, I'm going to let you relay the message because I know he can definitely hear you better, but I think we're going to let Greg go and see if we can transition to Tommy.
Yeah, definitely. So, Greg, thank you for your time here today. Sorry the video didn't work, but good luck coming up here in Denver, your home track. Make sure if we do not see you, you eat a couple of tacos and a couple of burritos for Lee and I, and we will talk to you in the near future.
Hey, thanks very much for the opportunity, guys. It's obviously valuable for us to get this kind of time.
Yep, no, and we appreciate that, giving the people that are not out in the forefront but definitely need to be talked to and asked questions to. So, again, we appreciate you. Good luck in Denver, your home track. And guys and girls out there, go and stop by Greg's pit and say hey, say hi, and tell him you heard him here on the Competition Plus Power Hour.
Thanks, guys.
All right, great to have Greg on, and he's got a good program. I mean, he ran exceptionally well there in Las Vegas, and in the article on CompetitionPlus.com, I read that he wants to be continually improving, and that team become a team that can cause some headaches out there. And I think right now they're already a team that can cause heartaches and headaches. And Aaron Brooks knows what he's doing, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the mountain this weekend. And remember, Sam, with it being a short field, it makes for some interesting round one matchups. So there are going to be some point shakeups. And if Greg qualifies well, there's no telling who's going to be racing who, in other words.
No, and, just like we said with this, everything has changed and things can be shaken up. And he said it himself. He wants to come out there and do that. He wants to be not just the mild sauce in reference to his sponsor. He wants to be the habanero sauce. So why not get in there and shake it up and add a little hot sauce to someone? But you never know what could happen. He's a hometown, racer. So who knows? He can come up and take out, Mr. Number One. And how would that look, right? You never know what can happen. And then too, Lee, I want to bring up this because Colton does bring up another great point. Does the cooling system underneath the track make a big difference versus tune-up versus a place like Vegas where it's super hot, it's a dry hot, and they don't have the cooling system, whereas Denver does. Denver can, adjust the temperature of the track, and I believe they do a great job at doing that. But it's little things like that. If round one, the track is a certain temp, and in round two, maybe, we got some cloud cover. We've got not as many, or we've got the sun on the track. Track is heating up, not that many cars going down, which in theory cools the track, as they say. Now the track's been sitting, it's getting warmer. The ifs and ands about that place. And I think, we've said it before. Denver throws you a curveball like never before. You've ever sit in the stands, the first time I went there, it was my goal to make sure I ran from the track level all the way up the stairs just to say I did it. Why? Because it's Denver. Like, you're sitting on the side of a mountain looking out at a racetrack and then the freeway or interstate, however you want to say it, depending on what part of the world you live in. So, it's a beautiful dynamic, and it gives you so many different scenarios to play with and throw ideas. So, man, I just say for anyone that's going out there, for anyone that's picking people to win already, hold on. Hold your horses, hold your suitcase. Don't run to the betting pools yet, because I think come Sunday, there's going to be some things that we say, I didn't expect to see that happen.
Right. If anything, I think we can expect, though, that the burritos are actually the winners on the mountain, it sounds like. So go by and get some burritos, folks.
Hey, I'm betting on I actually would take the hottest salsa challenge on that one.
Yeah. Oh, here, how many times does Tony Petragon visit Greg's pit? Someone needs to keep a number on that.
It might be me, but I mean, hey, it's 12 hours from the house. If I leave, yeah, might just have to be me, Lee. I might have to take him up on the 18 taco challenge and see if I can do that like my buddy did here this week.
Yep. Well, we just did have Tommy Franklin in studio, and he dropped out. So, folks, we'll let him come back in, and when he does come back in, we'll bring him on. And sorry for being behind schedule. We've had technical difficulties. Bobby came on for a rant, and here we are now waiting on Mr. Franklin and seeing how the rest of the show may go. He says here, we need a live broadcast of Lee and Sam eating at the Greg Carrillo hospitality area. I would definitely say that needs to happen. Sadly, we'll not be in Denver. Well, look, Sam, let's take a break, and we got Tommy back in. Let's bring him in.
Exactly. Let's do that.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.
Tommy, how you doing, man?
Good, man. How you guys?
Doing well. Hey, your car was in that commercial.
It was cool to see.
There you go. Well, man, look, I know that you all have a huge weekend coming up at Virginia Motorsports Park for the PDRA. We definitely want to talk about that, but dive into the decision to fully cancel the NHRA Virginia Nationals this year and go ahead and set up for next year in 2022.
Yeah, I think the originally postponing the hope was that there would be an opening somewhere in the rest of the season to be able to get an event in. At that time, it was still unknown what states were going to open up, where Virginia was going to stand. There was just too much unknown, but we were getting way too close to the event and wanted to let people be able to make their plans and to do it's not something easy when you're packing up a motorhome and coming to watch and all the racers and all the travel that goes along with it. So unfortunately we had to postpone initially, and then thankfully, most of the country is opened back up and most of the racetracks are able to get their events in. So there just hasn't been an opening to allow us to get an event back in and fit within the current NHRA schedule. So that was the decision, to go ahead and let everyone get it off of their plate and not tie up everybody's summer and get our next year for 2022, get that date set and in place and be able to get it out there and start preparing.
And have to make those decisions have to be difficult and hard, but at the same time, you do wear three different hats when it comes into the racing community. You are not just a track owner, you run a series yourself, and you are a driver having your own car. Which one out of those three would be the most challenging for you?
Well, I've been getting kicked in the mouth in Pro Mod and Pro Nitrous this year, so I guess I'm going to have to say that. But no, they all have their own challenges. I
guess you can't say getting kicked in the mouth on the air.
Right. I guess you can't. Something happened. So let me I guess we might need Tommy just to call in too. Oh, let's see. We might have him back in just a moment, and it looks like he's loading up. Tommy, if you can hear us as you're in, it looks like the studio. Turn your camera off if you can see that option, 3 little dots. Turn the camera off, and we can just go audio only, and that might help out with the signal. Still waiting for an image to come up. Oh, okay. Let's see how this works. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. You guys there? Kind of look like you cut us off there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just dropped out. So we've had some technical difficulties tonight already for sure. So, yeah, talk to us about, as you put it so eloquently, getting kicked in the mouth in Pro Mod right now. I'm curious, like, how much weight is going to be put on Jim Halsey in the future? How much?
Oh, man, I tell you, none, because I want to beat him at his own game, right? So that's what we do as competitors. But, we've actually just been our own problem, and had some technical difficulties that bit us and cost us 2 races trying to figure that out, and got that figured out at Maryland, and started getting back on our game. We made a couple good runs there. Just got to get in front of it. So I actually feel really good going into Virginia. We've got our car back under us. Feel like we've got a good solid base again, and had some promising runs up at Maryland, and got beat by Halsey in the semis. But I definitely felt like we were there, and we were back getting close to our stride. So we're definitely not giving up. We're definitely got all of our heels grabbed in, and sometimes you just get busy with life and running, and things miss you. But we're as focused as you can get it right now. So.
And with that, I mean, we've seen, the weight issue. We've seen all of the drama and the controversy this year with weight and what are we going to do and what are we not going to do. What is your stance on that? How do you feel about it, and how does it affect you?
Did you say on weight? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
Yes, with weight.
Yeah, on the Pro Nitrous, I mean, so I'll make this point. This is one of the things I love about Pro Nitrous being separated from Pro Boost, because that's one power adder we don't have to add into that mix. The Pro Nitrous cars, the great thing is we're all the same cubic inch, all the same weight, other than a little bit of variables for more than 3 forward gears, things like that, or engine size for some of the smaller engine guys, things like that. But that keeps us pretty close, and it's really, hey, who can show up and be the best on race day? So that's where it makes Pro Nitrous easy on that part. Pro Boost it's a challenge, right? I mean, between Pro Boost and Outlaw 632, Pro Outlaw 632, we have it's ever changing. The Pro Charger combinations have been strong. We allowed the screw superchargers into Pro Boost this year, and they've come out and showed well. And both those combinations have been really good. And if you watch them, they've qualified within definitely 100th or 2. So the great thing is our rules department have done a good job to keep them within 100th or 2, but everybody still wants to be the one that's 100th or 2 faster. So we're always keeping an eye on that and keeping it to get there. I think that at the end of the day, what we all want is a very competitive field and everybody to have a shot and everybody to come out and play in that. So I think we've done that. We've allowed some of the supercharger guys come back in, meaning the belt driven supercharger guys. So the screw kind of revived that, and we still got a couple Roots cars out there playing as well. So we've got some different combinations over there. It really makes it good. And at the same time, we try to keep those classes the same, Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost, as far as performance, because there are always those couple races a year that the events are combined. So, we want to keep them as close as we can to keep that rule set right.
Well, Tommy, I know there was some barking at the first of the year about some of the rules changes made, especially Pro Boost. But congratulations to you and your group. You can't make a prediction on who's going to win in Pro Boost right now. It's anybody's race to win. Oh boy. Did you get any of that, Tommy?
Yeah. So I heard you talking about Pro Boost, and it's anyone's race to win, and you're exactly right. That's the beauty of it, and like I said, all props to my staff for getting the rules right and getting them as close as they can. And like I said, when we're arguing about an advantage, we're arguing about a hundredth or two that can be made up on the starting line all day long. So we know that we have a competitive rule set. We know that we have a couple combinations that can run up front, and that's what we want. We want everybody to pull in the gate knowing they have a shot, and that's the only reason they're going to pull in the gate. I know every racer has the same mindset. You don't pull there knowing that you don't have a shot at it. So, we try to keep it that way, and we've done a job of creating that. And like I said, hats off to my tech guys for doing that, because we've got one heck of a class in Pro Boost and Pro Nitrous. And honestly, I'm going to brag on my people a little bit, but I just feel like every one of our classes is just, if you're the elite, then you're going to show up and be with the elite, because I tell you, every one of our classes just amazed me at every race. And that's not me bragging on me or PDRA. That's me bragging on our racers that show up, because the competition level is stiff, and these guys just they don't let the guard down. I tell you, it just gets better and better every race. And to be sitting in my seat, we sit back and watch it, man. I tell you, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah, it is. It's insane in the PDRA. For anybody that has not been to a PDRA event, you've got to go. Just watching Elite Top Dragster and Elite Top Sportsman. I mean, there's some of the top sportsman guys. It's like, guys, go qualify for Pro Nitrous, for goodness sakes. Just stop it.
There is, for sure. There's there's guys over there that have every bit of the stuff to do it, and that's the beauty of what we've created here. And I think that's the whole goal, is we want classes that people can build in and grow in and move up class as they're ready. And I think both, as you know, the Elite Top Dragster and Elite Top Sportsman does exactly that. There's a lot of guys in both of those classes that could step into Pro Boost or Pro Nitrous, and we've done the same thing with our 632 classes. We watched Johnny Placino come out of there, dominate in 632, and go over to Pro Stock, and really had a dominant year last year as well. So, not taking anything away from the rest of the guys there, because they're just as competitive over there. But we like people. We don't want them to get bored and sick of where they're at. We want them to be able to keep growing their racing operation and grow within, and have a class here to race with us. And boy, I tell you what, all we do is open the gates, and they come in and they do it.
So we got a couple of people out here that are asking questions. So we got three that I'll present to you. The first one is, Tommy, why have the Pro Nitrous boys not raced the big engines at an NHRA Pro Mod race yet?
Yeah, I don't know the exact reason. I know most of the guys that are even over there that run the Nitrous combination, I don't think many of them are on the 959. And honestly, I'm not connected well enough over there to know. I don't know if it's the rule set. If I can't even tell you what the rule spread is on weight over there for between the 903 and the 959 combination. I'm pretty certain that if there was an advantage, they would definitely be taking advantage of that. But I don't know the answer. It seems like the quarter mile racing. This is me talking as a racer. I don't want to step on anything from a serious standpoint, but as a racer, quarter mile racing is it's a little bit harder for the nitrous cars to compete. A nitrous car we hang them out. They've got to run hard every time. And, you've kind of seen that. And unfortunately, it's hurt that combination in the quarter-mile ranks. We just don't have a lot of them out there. And that's not necessarily a good thing for anybody. I don't think that makes a better thing for PDRA. I don't think that makes a good thing for anyone, because eventually it just it runs racers off. So I don't know the true answer to why many of them don't run the 959 over on the NHRA side, other than I would have to guess that the rule set, nobody believes that the rule set would make up for the difference in weight that they have to have.
Sam, before you go to the next question, with Tommy talking about Pro Nitrous and some NHRA rules, what do you think about Ricky Smith coming out with a blower car here recently?
I tell you, man, COVID's got the world all screwed up. It's, Ricky's what else can you say about Ricky? Ricky's a decorated racer that has proved himself in any combination. So I don't think that should surprise anybody, because I think he'll be competitive. But I also think that Ricky's smart enough to know that he's going to show up in a combination that gives him the best chance to win. And that's what he's doing, and I think that he'll be strong wherever he plays. I know that he's, from what I understand, he's going to have a roots combination. He's going to have a screw combination. So it's going to be nice to see him mixing it up with, some of the Pro Boost guys. And, as far as I know, he still has a Nitrous car too. So I don't know if he'll show up with Pro Nitrous, Pro Boost, or NHRA Pro Mod. But what we do know is he's got a race car, and he's going to be somewhere pretty much every weekend.
I think that's one of those ones, Lee, where you got to call in Brett again and see what Brett would say.
We need a Brett Kepner impersonation of why I went to a blower car.
But so the next question here, it says, I am new to the PDRA. Why is Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost two separate categories? Aren't they basically just a split up Pro Mod?
So to answer the question, yes, it is basically a split up Pro Mod. The original, if you kind of look at the inception of PDRA, we had, there was you had Pro Mod, and then you had started some of the Pro Nitrous stuff, and the car weights were a lot different, and cubic inches were a lot different, and there was a little bit more spread in the ETs. Both classes have advanced very well, and they are fairly close. I will say it's a challenge to keep them close. If you watch them, the different weather makes it a little bit harder for, each combination to perform well. As far as, one of the other ways that we look at it is we typically show up with 32 plus Pro Mods. It's hard for these guys to run 5 rounds of racing. We like to be able to run it in 4 rounds of racing. So it gives us the ability to split it and have 2 16-car fields and be able to, still have 4 rounds of racing and get everybody there racing, rather than sending, 14, 16 guys home and not being able to race.
And final question here is from Colton Jordan. He says, Tommy, I've heard there's a possibility that you were testing a new tire from Hoosier. Is this true? And if so, how is the new tire?
So I have tried the new tire. I don't think it's a tire that many people have tried at this point. I have not completed my test with it, and I'll be completing it. We tried the tire. I was struggling. Went back to the old tire and was struggling. So kind of justified that it had nothing to do with the new tire. And I'm actually going to probably try them again this weekend, just to get some data on it and figure out the new tire. Some of the people that I know that are on it love the tire and have made some very successful laps on it. So, it's something that we want to get back to and try. How this thing is, you're always evolving, Colton, and trying to get better with things. So I don't know that I can give it a fair justification right now on it, but I can tell you that it wasn't my issue, and really saw no difference in between the two tires on the times that I ran it. I actually ran it early in the season and was very fast on it. Came out the second race, and that's when my problem started. Took tires off, tried the old tire to eliminate that out of the equation, but was not the issue that I was having.
So, Tommy, obviously you're a competitor in Pro Nitrous and the PDRA, so I will not ask you to choose a pick for that class because I know you choose yourself. I don't blame you. But when it comes to Pro Boost, Extreme Pro Stock, and 632, give me your picks for the weekend coming up at Virginia Motorsports Park.
Ooh, boy, man, you put me on the spot here. Let me see. So we'll start with Pro Boost. Pro Boost, I would have to say, I really think Kirk Stedding's probably due. He's been really tough, really fast. There's a couple cars over there. As you know, there's 5 or 6 names going through my head right now. John Camp, Todd Tutterow, Kevin Rivenbark, Daniel Ferris. There's so many of them that can do it. But I think, Kurt had to sit out this last race because of a surgery he had on his knee. So I'm sure he's going to be anxious to get back in, and I think he's ready. 632, man. I think it's Wes is an excellent team. DeStefano, their team is really, really strong right now. It's going to be hard to stop him, but I will say that I think Darrell Stewart has a really good shot of doing that. So I think I would probably still leaning towards Wes a little bit, but just because that car is going up and down the racetrack every single pass. But it would not surprise me to see Darrell Stewart come in there. Pro Stock. So we've got the Pro Stock class, and we're having the Sunday's Memorial race here, and there's a lot of cars coming out. I honestly think I guess it's a good thing that I stumble so hard on these, but I really got to think Johnny Placino is going to get back a hold of this thing. He struggled a little bit this year, but he showed us a flash in in testing actually at Maryland. I believe he went 402. Him and JR Carr both went 402 in the heat, so I would not count him out. I wouldn't count any of those guys out, but I think I would have to probably put it on Johnny Placino.
I mean, how can you bet against the Pacino family? I mean, they've been doing some great things over the last few years, and then just seeing them in the pits and how they interact is tremendous. So it's kind of hard to not count on them. But I'm going to ask, I guess, a question here. What do you think of how Camry Caruso's doing? She's making some improvements in her car. What do you think about that?
I got a chance to watch Camry a couple times at Maryland, and I tell you, she's driving the car really, really well. A clutch shifted car isn't the easiest thing, to drive. It takes skill, takes a lot of concentration. So I think she's done really great in the car. I think she's going to continue to get better. I think it's great to see her getting in a door car. She was very successful in a dragster, but getting in a door car, I think, is really cool. And yeah, I think she's going to continue to evolve. And the 632 class is really taking off, and it has really taken a major step in the right direction this season. We've spent a couple years building it and getting there. And you know how it happens. People build cars and they take some time to get stuff out there, but we have that. And I tell you, that class is going to be a fun one to watch over the next couple of years. I think the bad thing is it's probably a stepping stone and we see those people move up in class, but the good thing is there's a lot of people coming into the class. So we're going to see some really good battles here over the next couple years. And I think that as it continues to evolve, that's going to be one of the coolest, funnest classes to watch.
So, Tommy, my last question for you. I love my PDRA over here. I love the PDRA. I love what y'all are doing over there. But for individuals that have not yet been to a PDRA race, like my co-host Sam Smith, why should they attend a PDRA race?
Well, Sam, we're going to start with you, buddy. There's no reason for you not to be at one. You know, I'll be honest. I think the coolest thing about the PDRA, it has a vibe with it, and we've discussed a little bit about, you know, in this conversation tonight. Every single class that goes to the starting line are the baddest of the baddest racers out there, and I don't care if that's the junior dragsters, if it's the, you know, top sportsmen, top dragsters, indoor pro mod and pro stock and LL 632, and our motorcycles. Every single one of them are the baddest classes out there. I think that, you know, we get beat up on, and I'm just putting this out there clear. We get beat up on the fact that we have a long day, but the point is we have a lot of really cool cars to watch. And there was an observation of an event a couple weeks ago by a race promoter that said, I cannot believe how long the people were willing to sit there in the stands, never move, and watch every car go down the racetrack. And I think, you know, we used to try to beat ourselves up and figure out how do you put this thing in a 2 or 3 hour window, because that's what it's supposed to be, right? If we go and watch stick and ball sports and things like that, that's the way it's supposed to be. But drag racing's hard to do that. We've seen everybody try to do that. But what I can guarantee you that everyone out there that comes and watches it, no matter what time you go up to the fence or what time you go up to the stands, you're going to see some really cool, fast bag cars with some of the best drivers and best teams in the world watching them. With that said, you can walk out of there and you can walk into the pits and get really up and close and personal with all of them. And there's a great group of people that it is a very family-oriented, family-friendly event that's going to welcome everyone in. And, you know, I hope that you get the same thing out of that. I hope that, you know, Lee, when you come in and as a media member, I hope that you're welcomed the same way. And I hope that, you know, that's the same way every spectator is. And I know that that's what happens with my race team. And I've got, you know, 2 daughters and a wife, and my daughter's boyfriend races as well. That's right in our camp. And we're very open with everyone to come in and enjoy what we have. So, you know, that's a long answer to your question, but the short version, I guess, is plan your day. If you want to come for 3 hours or you want to come for 12 hours, you're going to get to watch whatever you want. If you want a small sampling or you want a large sampling, just plan your day accordingly, because you can get all of that when you come to watch a PDRA event, as well as meeting some of the greatest people in the world. You can bring your family and guarantee that it's going to be family friendly. You can pick up t-shirts. You can pick up everything from the PDRA trailer, from all the team trailers, or whatever that may be. But I just think that it's a special group of people and a great product on the racetrack.
I agree with you there. You said it's a special group of people. You have a couple of media members that roam around the pits that made a video for me at one of the last PDR races, telling me that I should be there. Looking at one of them right now, Lee, shout out to Straight Line Media with Kyle and to the limo guy, who are all colleagues of mine and friends of mine, and they tell me, and Kings Ridge Media, Wes Buck and everyone there, they've always told me, Sam, you got to get to one. So it is on my calendar definitely to get to one. But, you know, it's one of those things where I've seen it. You know, you guys have made everyone that is around very welcome, made it a family friend atmosphere, and that's what it's all about. And I know even more so than NHRA, I know for sure with PDRA, you guys have that every ticket is a pit pass. and that's very important throughout, you know, our sport. I would say the next question, the final question I have, is a little controversy. Will there ever be an electric car class in the PDRA?
Ooh, man.
Hey, you're talking to an electrician, by the way, so be careful.
I know. That's why I said it's a little controversy.
You know, it's very interesting that you talk about that because, as you know, NHRA's announced that they're having a EV class, you know, for the electric vehicles, and there's been a few racetracks that have started doing it. I don't know where that fits in the PDRA currently today, obviously, but I can also say that, you know, from a racetrack perspective, talking about it at VMP, we have a Thursday night Take It Off the Streets program that we've ran a couple times this year. And, you know, it's amazing to me to see how many electric cars come out for that. Doesn't turn me off one bit. I love that they want to come to the racetrack. That's the way I see this. Anybody that can enjoy this sport and continue to grow this sport, I'm all in with, and I'm friends with them. You know, that's just the way I see it. So I wouldn't ever rule it out, and I wouldn't say that it's not for us. I don't know that it quite has a place there yet, but I do think that we'll continue to see that happen more and more. And as I said at VMP, we're seeing more and more people show up on our test and tune nights with electric cars, and just on a personal note, I'll say, some of them are so fast that I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I've seen these electric cars go in the low 10s and high 9s in the quarter mile, and I'm like, are you kidding me? But hey, that's kind of compelling, and when you see that, it's cool. And like I said, we're all racers. That's all I really care. When we turn on 2 stage bulbs and tree drops, and you go down and get a wind light, 2 goes down, 1 comes back, right? That's what it's about. So I just want to continue to promote racing and whatever it takes to get people to love the sport that I grew up loving. That, you know, it's man, I don't know what life would have been without it. It's what I've done all my life. I've raced. I've spent my time at the racetrack, and I've tried to, you know, show my kids the same thing. And now my kids love it, and they you know, they're invested into it, and they want to do it every day. So it's you know, if that's what drag racing needs and that's what it evolves into, then I guess that's what we have.
Interesting.
Interesting. Well, Tommy, look, man, thank you for being on the Competition Plus Power Hour. Look forward to seeing you all this weekend. And yes, sir, definitely the PDRA has always been welcoming to a hack of a media type as myself. Thank you for that. And we will definitely get Sam to an event before long. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys. Sam, you let us know when you're ready to come out, man.
Yeah, it'll be sooner than later. I can promise you that.
Thank you, Tommy.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Sam.
Electric cars.
Yeah. Look, man.
I thought we were over that topic, to be honest with you.
I thought
Bobby brought it back up.
I thought we were. He brought it back. It went back, and then you brought it back again, and it's out now.
I think the people want to know, you know, if NHRA is doing it, you know, we want to know if PDRA is doing it also. I mean, there's anything wrong with
I agree. It is moving there. I will say this too. I was covering a no prep at an airport on the taxiway type of drag race event, and a guy showed up with his Tesla, and nobody had anything for him. It is what it is right now.
I'm hoping you mean in the streetcar class or something.
Yes, in a streetcar class.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
In a streetcar class. Yeah.
Just defines what the rules are. It's probably a W rule, or, you know, can't run a 25 W, run a 28 10 5. So, you know how those guys are. Rules. They're all meant to be broken anyway.
That's right. Just like John Force Racing.
Hey, Actually, Jeff sent me the picture of that. So if you guys mosey over to NHRA, it says big bold, latest update. NHRA imposes fines against John Force Racing. First line, NHRA Tech Department has fined John Force Racing $10,000 for making unauthorized modifications to an approved part. So you guys need to go over there, look for a big, bold, latest updates, and it's right there, John Force Racing, 10,000 smackaroos. So who knows? There will obviously be more on that story, but, you know, the rules are meant to be broken until you get caught.
Right, till you get caught.
And who knows? Who knows what the situation fully is? So let's not make speculations. Please, no one say that Slam it. Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Slammin
they
Sam
might have been doing something that they honestly didn't think was an issue with the rules, for all we know.
But Lee, can you imagine how that phone call goes? Hey, John, or that letter goes out. We're fining you $10,000. What? What did I do? And blah, 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 and the sky was blue and orange and pink and purple, and peak antifreeze was coming down from the heavens. But hey,
I imagine that phone call doesn't go to John. I think that would be easier. It must go to Robert or someone like that. But there's no telling. It might have been a case of, NASCAR does this. A team will make a modification, and in the rule book, it's not there, but NASCAR sees it, and they're like, you got us, but we don't like it. Get it out of here.
I mean, yeah, it's got to be just like half of these people in the world in sports and everything else with, this protein is legal one day and next day it's not legal. So, I mean, everything changes, everything evolves. And just like slowly but surely, maybe in like 40 years when, I'm to the end of the road, we'll have it'll be the ENHRA, the Electric National Hot Rod Association.
Well,
so, who's to know, Lee?
We'll see.
Because we know, as we learned today, if it happens in Bobby's lifetime, oh boy, have we lost control.
That's right, because we will be competition negative.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. Another great episode of Get Off My Track by a little segment there by Bobby Bennett, though. That was nice, a little refresher. Set everyone's alarm clock.
So, Sam, look, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, between the slicks, I've got Chris King on. He will be making his funny car debut. That's the Chicago firefighter stepping in a funny car in the Nitro ranks for the first time there on the mountain. Have him Thursday night, 8 p.m. on the Monday Morning Racer platform. Sam, look, been good to be on with you this evening. Shut her down, man.
One question, Lee.
Sure.
You're doing your show in the evening. Why are you still the Monday morning racer? Shouldn't you be the Monday evening racer?
No.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking with you. Anyway, guys, on my show coming up here, we will have local racers talking about the Dakota Mod Tour. We'll get some drag racers coming back on the show here soon, too. So stay attention to all of our social medias. And that is all under Outlaw Performance ENT. If you guys ever want to catch up to what me, Slammin Sam, the crazy guy that comes up with these ideas are doing, go and check out our Facebook page, Slammin Sam. It's just a daily hack of kind of what I'm doing, what motorsport stuff I'm doing. You might see me grinding tires. You might see me doing this. Also, under the Power Hour, you guys can check us out on all the social medias. That's Competition Plus. We're under there. But if you guys want to listen to these back, you guys are driving, going to a racetrack, get onto all your major podcast forums and you can listen to these back. You can watch them back on YouTube and send questions in to our good friend, the jeweler, a.k.a. Mr. Jeff Arend, and that is powerhourcp@gmail.com. This has been another great episode of the Power Hour. Thank you to Bobby Bennett and Competition Plus. We appreciate it. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Tommy, all for coming on and yakking it up here with us on another episode of the Power Hour. Till next Tuesday, you guys keep the pedal to the meadow.